Did you find the tape,
R&B, African, disco, oldies but goodies.
Hi, this is Janet Jackson.
We're bridging the gap. Seriously. Splash Radio 94.3 New Jersey.
Hi, this is McBoomin Moving, box truck for rent, for all your life moving needs, anywhere within the Northeast Orange, Irvington Orange areas. $50 a trip from Monday through Thursday, $60 from Friday through Sunday. Call 862-279-9300. That's 862-279-9300.
Electrical?
Yeah.
Eric, whenever time you need more time.
All the Samuels here, and I just want to
why would you waste this for?
Because I got it, OB. Because the recording has to be good. I'll wear these, or I'll wear.
Guess what?
I wear these.
Me will be the recipient of
or I give these to somebody to wear. I'll wear these, and Ian can wear mine.
So what happened to the one-sided one?
That doesn't work.
This one, the one-sided one doesn't work.
No, it works. Oh, you said it's on my head?
No, the one-sided one. Since you're only using
No. But it has to reach, and Ian has to put it in his kit.
Taking it to another level.
Right. Couldn't put both of them right there.
No. But let me do this, because I'm going to run out of time.
All right, look at this, Eric. Let me show you quick. All right. So first we're going to stop this. Just start running your Facebook Live.
Yeah, it's running. But I got to do this. Make sure that this is set.
Right. Go ahead.
We provide 3 years audit protection and a year identity theft
Nothing?
protection. So you
Not
can
yet.
have peace of mind.
No, does this have to come over?
Come over. Not all the way over, right?
Nothing?
There you go. Right.
Okay,
There you
done.
go.
All right.
Good morning, the Eric
But
Dawson Show.
But we got to get going. I can't answer the phone.
Yes, I'm sorry. You are? Deanne? Okay, could you just hold the line for Eric? He's trying to get set up right about now. Could you hold the line for him, please? Okay.
Yeah, I just don't answer the phones. I just don't answer them because we don't have the time.
No.
OB, you're in the way though. OB.
Oh, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do?
Just move.
Oh, I'm about to move, but
Okay.
not when I'm trying to help.
No, but there's nothing you can do right now. Use my headphones, Ian. Do we have a guest coming into the studio, or they're all calling in?
Deborah Schultz is supposed to be coming in.
Okay, so we need another stool. Bring the stool in, OB.
Everybody else is over the phone talking about the.
So then, if she comes in, I'm gonna ask you to. Do you have headsets? Because I'm gonna ask you to. I may try to buy headphones, or ask you guys to buy headphones or something. But we'll move this over. But Ian,
Yes.
do you have headsets like these regular?
Yeah, I do.
You
I
can.
have one in the car.
Okay, or you can use go get yours or use mine. But if she comes in, make her feel comfortable. So give her my headsets too. Right.
Oh, so let me get mine from the car then.
Right, but we're getting ready to go with
We don't
Ian.
have one
But
else?
we got like 2 commercials, dude, and we're going on. Well, we don't have 2 commercials.
You ready?
No, I'm ready. But this is what I'm saying. We don't have the time. Obi.
Out the music on them.
Go.
You come in to do all of this
Yeah, I'm
stuff,
coming out
and
here.
we don't have time. That's what I'm saying. Like, we got 5 minutes to get set up. You go into here. Here, this is which one?
Him. Your attention,
Give her those.
please.
Are those not working?
This is no ordinary show. Covering news and information for Essex County, New Jersey, and beyond. This is the Eric Dawson Radio Show. Broadcasting from 94.3 Splash Radio.
Or you can use mine.
Now, here's your host, giving it to you like only he can. It's Eric Dawson.
You're not touching this one, are you?
Hey, this is Eric Dawson. This is the Eric Dawson Radio Show, 94.3 FM.
I think you touched the one with the wrong one.
Yeah, that's why I
All
put it back where it was.
But, okay. So this is 94.3 FM. Caller number 973-457-8000. Again, caller number 973-457-8000. If you're listening through your mobile device, it's 213-493-0287. And as always, we're streaming live on Facebook. So today is Friday, Wrap-Up Friday. I'm not sure whether we're going to get phone calls in from Kevin or Rashawn. But I have Ian in the studio. We're going to continue maybe that discussion that we were having yesterday.
Okay.
And then talk about a bunch of new things. But I want to say...
and for those of you watching live, you notice that Ian once again and Eric in the studio going crazy, preparing to jump on air. So yeah, that's what you're looking at.
Yeah. Happy
Friday?
No. Happy Cafefe.
Oh man. Ooh, and did not turn this off. And so yeah, let's talk about Cafefe there, and that's I'm gonna let you take the lead on that one, so I can finish here.
Well, I mean, I went on my Facebook page and I asked people to weigh in and to offer some. Who do we have on hold? Oh, you have one of the guests?
I don't know. Is that who's on hold?
Who was it supposed to be? Who was calling in? No, it was a woman.
Then Deanne?
That's her. So she's on hold. I don't know when we're supposed to bring her on, but she called in and we told her to hold on.
Early.
Okay. But anyway, so I went on my Facebook page and I asked people to weigh in and offer, I said, use Cafefe in a sentence. And I got some very interesting comments. So, wake up and smell the Cafefe.
Okay.
All right. We have climate. We can't do that. Right. But the second one is climate change is so Cafefe.
Okay.
The next one is going to pick up my free donut today with a side of Cafefe. Sometime you just need to let go and let Cafefe.
That's
right. There's some Cafefe SHIT going on in the White House.
Mm-hmm.
Celebrity and Chief is full of Cafefe. Car wouldn't start, so I kicked the Cafefe out of it. Oh. Now my car is running like a well-oiled machine.
Cafefe does sound.
Yeah, man. My Cafefe hurts.
now, for everybody out there, tell everybody us what is Cafefe? What is Cafefe?
But do we have to really explain what Cafefe, like where Cafefe came from?
We may. I mean, we can't assume everybody's up to speed. We can't assume that.
Oh man, you know what? If we gotta explain Cafefe,
come on, Eric, stop being so hard on people.
Well, I mean, come on now, Cafefe.
Up to speed. We can't assume that.
Oh man, you know what? If we got Cafefe was Donald Trump. Some people thinking tweeting at night.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
You mean like his 3 a.m. tweets?
Well, not his 3 a.m. Yeah, his 3 a.m. tweets, but that maybe he was tweet walking.
Okay.
Have you ever tweet walked?
No, I don't tweet walk at all.
You've never tweet walked?
Never tweet walk. It doesn't even sound like it doesn't sound masculine enough for me to even think about doing it. It just doesn't. It doesn't.
Hey, come on, man.
It sounds.
Have any of you tweet? Have any of you?
That's a different kind of walk.
Have any of you tweet?
It just sounds like a different kind of walk.
Have any of you tweet walked before? That's a question. 973-457-8000. Oh, you know what? Why don't we do this before we get into some more serious stuff? If you have a creative way to use Cafefe,
yes, by all means,
in a sentence. But remember, we're on air, so it has to be clean. But if you've got a creative and clean way to use Cafefe in a sentence, by all means, call in. We'd like to have you weigh in.
Me and my Cafefe went to the movies. Oh,
Wow.
hey Cafefe, could that replace Boo? Could Cafefe?
If you call your boo Cafefe, you might end up with an ex-boo.
Really?
You might end up with an ex-boo. I don't know if she. I don't know. I don't even think Shanae would appreciate Cafefe. I don't even think she would.
So my boo, before I got into bed, told me that I needed to go and wash my Cafefe.
Cafefe just sounds so dirty.
Is it dirty though?
It just sounds bad. No matter how you use it in the sentence, it just sounds bad.
No, well, my Cafefe hurts. That doesn't sound too bad.
I wouldn't want to know what a Cafefe is. If I had it, I wouldn't want to know.
So the other thing that I want to say is this: Happy National Donut Day.
I didn't know that.
Boom. See?
So
that's why people tune in to the Eric Dawson radio show.
So that's why nobody's out there actually giving out tickets today.
Oh, all.
That's what you're saying. That's
Am
the
I
reason?
saying? Now see.
I mean, I noticed I was able to speed on the way over here. I was a little behind. I was able to speed without issue. That's what you trying to tell me?
That all of the cops are in the donut shop?
I look. I'm just saying that's a possibility. If it's National Donut Day, that's definitely a possibility.
You know what? I'm not even going to go there. But I did go to the donut shop and I got my donut. But here's the question that I have about National Donut Day. If it is a national holiday, why is Dunkin' Donuts the only one giving out donuts? You got Krispy Kreme. You got the local bakery. You know, you got 7-Eleven that's got donuts. You got Krausers. Right? You got to shop right in the bakery section. So National Donut Day should mean that you can go anywhere where there are donuts and you should be able to get yourself a donut.
That's what it sounds like.
Right? But it's not. It seems like it is National Dunkin' Donut Day, not National Donut Day.
Yeah.
So anyway, go get yourself a donut. And actually, you can get more than one donut. Well, not from the same Dunkin' Donuts, but you can make your way like to work and then home, and then stop at all the Dunkin' Donuts and get a donut. And I don't think that there's a purchase necessary. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I don't think there's a purchase necessary. And then that is the news. Well, not really.
That's it.
News.
All right, everybody, have a good day. We're out of here. We're gonna leave early Friday.
Well, but that's not the news. That's just some of the stuff. Oh, we didn't talk about this yesterday. I don't think, did we? But little local stuff. Congrats to Leah Owens.
Oh, congrats to my daughter who had prom yesterday.
Oh, well, we want to talk about. I saw the pictures on Facebook.
Yeah, man.
Yo, dude had on skinny pants though.
He did have on skinny pants.
Those were like really skinny pants.
Well, I can't. I'm wearing skinny pants today.
So, are you?
Yeah, I'm kind of.
I can't wear skinny pants. I wouldn't wear skinny pants. But he had on skinny pants, so that was the deal. But I want to congratulate Leah Owens for being back on the programming committee for the city of Newark. I want to acknowledge, I think I might have done it yesterday, but it's worth doing again. I want to acknowledge all of the people who were instrumental in applying the necessary pressure. And I want to say once again that the only way that we're going to get things done in our community is if we apply that pressure. So we have to stay on it, and we have to make sure that we're that we're proactive in everything. What's his name? I'm gonna stay on local stuff for a second, because there were a couple things that I shared on my page, and if you guys haven't, dude, people say to me, I'm like, yo, Ian is just like in the studio,
moving all over
the place, like
going crazy.
Yeah, man, I see you through my peripheral vision. I'm like, what's he doing? But
we don't have interns, people. We got to do it all. What you mean?
Yeah, but the other thing that I want to say is that there was a. What are you doing now?
Nothing, just for me.
Okay.
I'm good.
I want to say that there is. There are a couple things that I want to talk about, but Donna Jackson, and I posted this Let's grab the second line. Just put them on hold. Just push it and put them on hold while I finish this thing.
Good morning, Cole. Hold on a second.
Yeah, they're just on hold. Donna Jackson posted something, and I want to say this, and it's important to say. I'm going to be on local stuff for a second. Because I was actually going to do a rant yesterday, but I was too tired to rant. But here's what Donna Jackson says. Donna Jackson says, Raz, how you going to fix this? This is what she says. You got so much illegal stuff going on. The 3 board members you just put on the board have been served with ethics violations by the state committee, and no longer have the ability to vote on any board items. I want to get back to that.
Wait. Say that again?
Yeah, man. That 3 of the board members have been served with ethic violations.
The newly elected
ones. So we're going to talk about that. But let's take, because you know what, I forgot. I got a phone call from gubernatorial candidate Jim Johnson, who wanted to call him in. So just but just pick it up and see who we have, because I don't want to, just pick the first one up.
Well, I know who the first one is.
Okay, so don't do the first one. Let's see if he's on the second line.
Good morning.
Good morning. This is Jim Johnson.
Oh, here he is. Oh,
look at my. I'm good.
You're good.
I'm good, hey, bro.
Hey, Jim, we've got all the lines lit up on the phone, and I said, see if you can pick the one that he's on, and he was able to do it. First try out.
First try.
All right.
Gotcha.
Tomorrow we're doing the lottery together.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to tell you, we are on it. I got the numbers right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go ahead, keep going. I got you.
So online we have gubernatorial candidate, Democrat, Jim Johnson. What's going on, man?
Good morning. We are in the final push towards what I think will be a very good day for us on Tuesday. We are up on the air. We're working with people. We had a great event at the Priory in Newark on Wednesday, and I'm feeling really fired up and ready to go.
So, I mean, what are you hearing from people? What seem to be the top level concerns of the voters as you've been canvassing these last couple days?
We have a state with we move almost from different state to different state as we move from north to south and east to west. And so in the north, you hear a lot all over the state. You hear about jobs. People are concerned about jobs, and I am committed to expanding opportunity for all of us in this economy in the 21st century, and not just for a handful of people, and definitely not just for the insiders. But then once we get beyond that, people are concerned about transit, and not just the trains, which are and have been a mess. As you know, we have the worst safety record in the nation, and our on-time record is in the pits as well. But mass transit, buses, which are key to ensuring that people can get to the jobs within the state that they need, that needs to be improved too, and I will be pushing to do that.
So, my biggest thing right now, as we wind this thing down, Mr. Johnson or Jim, is to make sure that however this thing pans out for the primary, that it is clear that the African American community is in the forefront of the minds of the candidates, and that there's a slice of this thing that's going to be for them, and that they're going to have a seat at the table. Talk to me a little bit about how you've addressed in the urban communities the needs and issues facing the urban community, and what plans you have to give them that space at the table.
Eric, part of my campaign has actually been to provide, in this campaign process, a seat at the table, because I believe that the way you campaign is a clear sign of how you would govern. And what I did from early on is to make sure that the issues of inequality and of fairness, as well as economic opportunity for all, were at the forefront of the campaign. And I believe that my presence and the issues I've raised forced a change. If you saw the debate on NJTV a couple of weeks ago, we had gone through 3/4 of the debate, 45 minutes, without anyone raising the issue of inequality, until I stopped the moderator and said, we have not that much time. This is a democratic debate. We have to talk about this. And I have been raising those issues and raising issues of fairness throughout this campaign in a way that no one else has. As we move forward, if people show up to the polls, folks will take notice. If people don't show up to the polls on June 6th, then we will end up with more of the same because people will discount the African-American vote, the Hispanic vote, basically the votes of folks that are not traditionally at the table. So June 6th is critical. And then afterwards, as I am moving towards the general election, and even if I am not, I will still be pushing to work on the issues that I've been working on and personally experienced for decades.
What are the? I looked at I think the last poll I looked at said that with all the money that has been spent in this campaign, that there are still close to 70% of the people who are undecided. So as people start to tune in and dial into this thing, what would you say to them is the biggest difference between you and the other Democratic candidates that are running?
Well, I think the polls show you a couple of things, one of which is that money can't buy you love. And we have one candidate who has spent more than $20 million in this campaign, and people have been turned off by it. Turned off so much that he announced just a couple of days ago that next time around in the general, if he makes it through, that he was going to participate in the public finance process. And I think people have been skeptical of a process that has been dominated by money, and as they're closing their decisions, they're going to kick the tires. And when they look at my candidacy, what they will see is someone who has a record of service, both in the government at the federal level, but also as a member of my community, and at the national level as a chair of the Brennan Center for Justice, pushing for change over decades. And as they make their decision, they're going to have to do what my father used to say. Follow the wisdom of my dad, who used to say this: your actions speak so loudly that I can't hear what you're saying. And there's been a lot of talk over the last few months, and a lot of it paid for on commercials. But when you look at my actions and you look at my experience, you will find that here's a guy who, before he was 40, led 29,000 people in Treasury law enforcement and had oversight of a budget of $4 billion. He has real executive experience. They look deeper, they will find that I'm a person who has worked for voting reform, fought to get formerly incarcerated men and women, 600,000 of them, back on the voting rolls. We didn't win that fight in court, but we won it in the court of public opinion, and that made a difference in people's lives. And time and again, if the more they look, I think that the more they will like what they see and will have confidence that I will do what I say, because with my record, I have done that in the past. So,
you were talking about social justice. There was something that was sent to me today, and I don't know whether you have seen it, but I'd like to get that to you. And what it is a photo, and there's a rally that's going to be happening in Carteret. Apparently, a 16-year-old African American was beaten, severely. Look at this, Ian. Was beaten severely by the Carteret Police Department and the People's Organization for Progress, as well as some other folks, are going to be gathering there. But these are the kinds of things that in the African American community, we need to make sure that we have somebody down in Trenton who really is addressing these things and not just offering up lip service. I mean, I was mortified, and hopefully I'll have somebody from the family calling in later on today on the show to talk about this and to talk about the rally that they're going to have on the steps of the police department. But on Monday it's going to be at 6 p.m. But this is absolutely horrendous, man, and it needs to be dealt with.
Yeah, it needs to be dealt with on a continuous basis. And you and I are about the same age, and I first got to talk when I was 6 years old, And my mother explained that the thing that I needed to do, if I was going to buy something at the store, and this is my first time going to the store, that I needed to make sure I walked out with whatever I had, if it was Bazooka bubble gum in the bag, and a receipt. And later, when I learned how to drive, I got a different version of the talk. One of the things that was part of my, growing up, and you remember the Rebellion, you remember the cover of Life magazine with young Joe Blass on the cover, having been shot by Newark police. I grew up with a sense that the law enforcement system, the criminal justice system, wasn't going to work for folks that look like me. And that was part of what drove me to actually be part of it. And I have been able to take my law enforcement experience and push for change. So I was part of the group that pushed for body cams for all police officers across the state. I led the advisory committee on police standards that was dealing with racial profiling by the state troopers. And we had 3 charges. One was to come up with a set of recommendations so that the improvement the troopers made would last, would endure, but also to turn our attention to the municipalities. And over the last few years, I've been working with municipalities because no family should have to go through what this 16-year-old's family is going through now. Certainly that young man should not have had to go through that.
And so somebody on Facebook just chimed in and they said, why didn't he open a campaign headquarters in Newark?
I have 2 offices in Newark. I have one on Mulberry Street and one on Warren. It's about a half a block away from the Rutgers campus, and it is. My mother was a secretary in the Academy building, and so it is maybe a block away from the Academy building. But yeah, folks should stop by. We're at 9 Warren, and we will be organizing this weekend. But we've been in Newark for pretty much ever since I actually opened up an official campaign office.
Excellent. So folks who want to get involved in your campaign effort, they should stop down at one of those offices?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Well, listen, man.
Happy to have them.
I know that you are out there and time is of the essence, so I'm going to let you go. I appreciate it. But let folks know where they can find you on the ballot.
Oh, absolutely. Well, it depends on the county they're in. I am on line D for democracy. In Essex County, in Hudson County, I am in line A, and we had to push for that. We had to write to and push for the fair placement, a fair process to get in the right spot in each county.
Well, wait a minute. So how'd you get in? How'd you get on line A? Isn't A normally reserved for the current power structure?
Usually that happens, but there's this small thing called the law, and I wrote to every county clerk, and the law requires that there be a lottery for position on the ballot. That law in many elections hasn't been followed, at least not uniformly around the state. And once the lottery was held, I ended up on line A in 7 out of 21 counties.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
So there's a possibility for somebody to end up on line A here in Essex County too?
That's what could happen if the lottery rules are followed.
We need to look into that.
Oh boy, you done lit a fire, Mr. Johnson.
All right.
Lit a fire.
Well, listen, man, get out on the campaign trail.
Yes, thank you for calling and keep fighting the fight, man. Because it's very important that people like yourself and others would have their voices heard, and people need to hear those voices so they can have different choices and know they have different choices.
Thank you. Can I leave you with just one last thought from me?
Absolutely.
This campaign shows that everybody can have a voice. I've entered without the backing of any party machinery, but I have the support of lots of people. And one thing that, I don't know if you know this, in Camden, in Cherry Hill, 46 people, including 43 people who had never run for an office before, decided that they were going to work to get on the ballot. And they are on the ballot. And we can do that. And if people mobilize and push, we can really make the government more responsive to us, because it is our government.
Well,
change can only change if we step forward.
I've always agreed to that the people have to organize and mobilize in order to affect change in their lives. You're right. Absolutely. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you very much.
Have a great day.
All right. Good luck.
Bye-bye.
So, there you go. So, you want to just take the caller?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's true. So, good morning, caller.
Yes.
How you doing? Hold, and let me get the other. I think we're going to conference the other one in.
Are we? So, do you see over to the left? It should say Conference XL.
Right.
Oh, the other one hung up.
And let me call him back. Let me tell him. I'll tell him. Oh, yeah. Please turn off.
My cell phone.
Yeah, in the background we can hear us going through here. Actually, I'm going to put you on hold and then conference you in with the other gentleman.
Well, I'm going to let you do that, and I'm going to go back to talking about
right.
what I was talking about before. So, so there are three candidates, or three elected folk who have currently been served with ethics violations. That's what Donald Jackson said in a post, and so I'm telling you, folks, there's something
the
rotten.
people that we just. I'm sorry. Let me clarify. The people that we fought adamantly against.
The ones that we said were the most incompetent.
The most incompetent. Mm-hmm. Are the people that have
just been served with ethics violations.
Violations.
And according to, and we're doing the research, so we have people on it right now.
Now, for you guys to understand, Newark has been fighting for the longest to get back local control. Correct? Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
I'm right. Okay. So now
since 1995.
So now
and local control was taken away because of all kind of ethics violations.
Right. So now
then you got the guy Reggie Bledsoe who said that he wanted to get local control and keep it. But he may, if what Donna Jackson is saying is correct, then he's currently been served with ethics violations.
All right. Good morning. I'm going to conference you in. Yeah. So. Yeah, so, I mean, that's, for me, I want everybody to understand and listen to what Eric is saying here. The people that we took a week and some change to really discuss, expose, and educate the public on the up-and-coming, at the time it was up-and-coming Board of Elections. And we had 3 seats that were available. We gave you all the information and said, please make your decision. Now, and we also gave our opinions, as we are, people with opinions, as well. And these 3, nobody in this studio or anybody else mentioned any of those 3 persons because we knew they were the least qualified. And we exposed that fact, and because we gave you the backgrounds on that. So, nonetheless, for whatever reason, which was a lack of participation from a lot of us, and the fact that, as usual, sadly, the wrong people are backed by the strong people, so they got pushed in. And now, as we've just received local control.
No, we haven't. No.
I mean,
no,
rather,
no.
Okay,
We don't,
but now we're the fight for local control. Dealing with, and one of the things was ethics issues. The 3 newly elected people are the ones hit with the ethics violations. I want you guys to really understand that. The people we were pushing for, were, in our opinion, were more qualified for the position to handle a $1-point-something billion budget, and et cetera, so on.
Right, so they can listen. You guys can go back and listen to those episodes.
Yeah,
we're not going to rehash that.
No, we're not.
The point of the point is that right now, if what Donna Jackson is saying is correct, not only have they been served with ethics violations, they cannot participate in the voting on the board.
So that's 3 empty votes. That's 3. That's 3 non-votes. Is that
right? But I don't want
issues that's going to be taking place. I mean, but we really don't want to rehash that. We have people on hold. we have a topic we said we wanted to discuss today. We're already.
And what's the topic?
Well, we want to discuss about the enslavement. A lot of people are under the misconception that slavery in this country only took place south of the Mason-Dixon line. A lot of people are, because that's how it's been taught in schools, right?
No, they talked about them. No.
In school, in elementary, junior high school, spoke about slavery in the north of the Mason-Dixon line.
I knew about it.
I'm not saying you didn't know about it, but I'm saying, was it taught in schools?
Well,
did you learn that at home or did you learn that at school?
No, I don't know. Home was school for me.
It was so long ago for you. He doesn't remember, ladies and gentlemen. So that's the fact of the matter.
All right,
but for me, I was learned outside of the school. But let me get
you were learned outside of school.
All right, stop it. All right, good morning. Okay, here we're going to conference you in now, and
nope, you just hung up.
And I just hung up on the other person. Yeah. Darn it!
No, all you had to do was hit the button,
and that was it.
That's it. You heard it, boop boop. Now you see, man. See how you can fade the situation?
That's a perfect way of using it. That's a perfect way of using it.
Do you see how he can fade? We have one caller on right now, so things are all can fade right now.
Yeah, and here's
so just push the thing again right now. Just push the red button that's blinking, and now push the thing. There we go.
All right,
done.
I'm sorry, I pressed the wrong button. Good morning.
Now you were learned where?
Easy, man, easy.
I'm sorry.
Hey, good morning, callers.
Good morning, guys.
I know I have Deanne Ip on the line. Is that correct?
Yes.
And is that my man Keith Jackson on the phone?
Speaking. You got me, man? Can you hear me?
My man. Both of you on the air, conferencing. Good morning. Thank you for calling. So let me preface this thing. All right. So I ran across a hidden treasure, and I use that purposefully because, just like the movie Hidden Figures, a lot of times we don't know our story and or our contribution to certain events, etc., so on. So there was a hidden treasure, and I posted on my page, and I'll post it on the link on the feed, that showed there was a sign in Teaneck that spoke directly to, that's probably another person who wants to join in, the conference I'm in as well. That's probably Angela. Hi. Is this, hold on. What happened? Oh, and you're pressing cancel. No, that says edit. Hello? Who's on the phone? And you're calling somebody. All right, so we got Cafe.
We got Cafe, man. So wait a minute, how many people are you trying to get calling in here?
There's 3 of them. That's talking about the subject.
Jeez.
Yeah, Eric, I'm coming. You want me to come in?
Yeah. Please, thank you.
So yeah, you got So just hang them all up.
All right.
There we go, and we'll figure it all out.
All right. This is Ann, right?
Right.
Deanne?
Yes.
All right. Stay on. All right.
All right.
Hold on. I'm gonna get. Hello, caller.
No.
Deanne is here.
All right. And who is this other?
And then push the next one.
Yep.
Push the next one. Push the next one, the blinking one.
Hello?
Hello.
All right, this Keith?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm not sure how we get all 3.
Sure.
We're trying to get all 3 people.
We're trying to get all 3 people on the phone.
All right. I'm going to let you try to figure that out.
Obi's going to come in right now and do that. And so anyway, I'm going to...
But keep... Yeah, I'm gonna
lead us in here. So, I ran across this gem, and this hidden. I'm trying to conference all 3 calls. I ran across this hidden treasure, as I refer to it. And just as I referenced that, like I said, similar to Hidden Figures, is something that we didn't know. I mean, and I'm going to say, I went to Teaneck High School for my last 2 years in school, and my parents still live in Teaneck. They lived in Teaneck since 1983, and I found out that there's an indigenous and enslaved African burial ground in Teaneck, New Jersey. And there was another signage that spoke to the fact of the slave trade and other and slave labor in Bergen County area.
Mhm.
A lot of people are unaware of the fact that these things actually existed and north of the Mason-Dixon line. So I shared it with a lot of my friends who went to TNEC and others, and we were all like, wow, it was going crazy. It went super viral.
Mhm.
And with helps of my friends I'm so proud of a lot of my friends from high school. Like I have a friend who's Dr. Marion McClary.
Well, I think we have one of them on the line.
Yeah. Which one's on the line? Is this Angela?
Hi. Yes, Angela Taylor.
Hi, Angela.
I'm a former teacher from TNEC High School.
Right. And she is on the line now, and I have.
Well, we'll get the rest of them on, but let's continue with the discussion. I wasn't there, so I can't really. I'm trying to participate, but I'm trying to find out.
Well, the thing was, we didn't know these things existed at all. There was never a conversation about this in school.
Okay.
There was never at all.
Okay.
And a lot of people who live there, and there's a decent sized African American contingency there, as well as indigenous population there. None of us knew that this took place.
Now that you know, now what?
I want to, knowledge, in my opinion, knowledge should be shared.
Okay.
So, and this is what I want to share this information with everybody.
Okay.
Because a lot of us, especially, we were taught. At least I'm going to say I was taught.
Mhm.
I was taught that the Civil War was fought for the purpose of the Civil War, and Abraham Lincoln and all the other stuff was fought for the purpose of freeing the slaves. And years down the road, I learned, of course, that wasn't true. There was an open letter that he wrote to Greeley, and he spoke to the fact that his whole intention was to preserve the Union. He didn't care whether or not the slaves were freed or not. If he can keep slavery, he would do so as long as he can preserve the Union. If he had to abolish slavery to preserve the Union, then he would do that.
So wait a minute.
But his bottom line goal was to preserve the Union.
So this is Angela on the phone?
Yes.
And Angela, I'm sorry, and you are currently a teacher or former teacher?
I am currently a teacher at the middle school. I used to teach at TNEC High School, and I'm also.
And how long have you been a teacher?
I've been a teacher for 24 years.
And in your 24 years, you did not know this existed?
No. She knows.
No. I actually worked with DEM to get the signage for the burial ground.
Okay.
Knowledge of the burial ground came from an outcry that was very public, and it was in the paper and so on. I think it was 2006, and then movement went forward to get. I know DN took a large part in raising the money to have it preserved, and then getting certain legislation passed to protect it. Because the difference between the burial ground in Teaneck and the one in Manhattan was that the one in Manhattan had exposed bones. So that gave it national protection, whereas the one in Teaneck, it had disappeared off of the record from as a cemetery, which came the knowledge of it being a cemetery came from older maps that had been redrawn, and once that was uncovered, it became kind of like a little mystery. But end of the day, because there were also Native Americans there, the Native American community, local community got involved, and there was a strong, fight to not have the ground decimated. So they were not going to allow digging up of bones to prove who was there. So then another historian, Arnold Brown, got involved, and he was able to trace the records back to the first emancipation.
So wait a minute. Let me ask you a question. When did all of this? When did all of this? What year was all of this struggling going on again? I think you hung up again on them. Hello, caller.
Hey, this is Keith.
No,
Okay.
All right. So we'll get her back.
Yeah, I was talking to me and her were talking together while you were doing. But
I hope.
Sorry about that, Keith.
I hope Angela calls back. I hope Angela calls back because the information that I was trying to glean from her was really, really important. So.
Yeah, she's got some good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
And this is Keith Jackson, a classmate of mine.
So here's the question, so that we don't try to do something we can't do. Can we conference 3 people?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to try it again. Hopefully she'll call back. And what I'll ask you to do, Keith, if you get disconnected, please try to call right back. Right, call right away. We're trying to figure this thing out. But here's my thing. Whenever it was discovered, right, and the fight to preserve it and to do all of those things, what has been happening now? Because Ian said he grew up in Teaneck, and so this fight occurred, and this cemetery is there, and you just stumbled upon it this weekend, Ian?
Yeah, I just stumbled upon it a couple of days. Whenever the day I posted it is the day I received it. Is the day I discovered it. It was only a couple of days ago. I think might have been if I'm not mistaken, it might have been Wednesday might have been Wednesday, in fact.
So I mean, I would be asking the question, like, why isn't every African American elected official aware of it? And if they are aware of it, why aren't they sharing that information with their constituents?
I'm not sure if they were aware of it just the same. It's just like there was once there was an
but
elected
apparently
official.
It was in the paper there, and they were fighting over it. All this. That's why I'm waiting for Angela to call back. But so there was some hoopla that at least took place in Teaneck. A fight to preserve it took place in Teaneck. Yeah. And there was some people who were involved. I'm assuming some political figures were involved.
Right. Well, let me let my friend Keith join, because he has actually an interesting history that he can lead up to this as well.
Regarding the cemetery?
Regarding the cemetery, yeah.
Well, as I always, mention to people, and I was talking to Angela on the phone when we were disconnected, and first of all, if she's out there, props to her for, discovering that and pushing that through, because that's a tremendous find, and it needs to be, the plaque needs to be there, and people need to know about it. And the fact that we're having this conversation today, getting it out there is good. I do think that while wondering why it took so long is important. I think it's the more important part is to really dig into this. Let's pick at the scab and see what other history is out there. While it took a while to get it done, and I appreciate going on about.
When you say that it took a while to get it done, so we're trying right now, Keith. We're trying to get the other 2 callers on, and hopefully OB can get this done, and then we'll be able to join it. You can't figure it out? I mean, if we can't, then what I want to do is we'll just ask one caller to call at a time, so that we can have some continuity to the conversation. Okay, so we won't do that anloanymore then. Let's not do it anymore. Let's just have one caller call at a time. Okay, so, look, OB, let's take a commercial. I want to take a deep breath, and, because this has to be painful for the listeners to listen to. So I want to try to take a deep breath, get it together so that we can have this conversation. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
94.3.
Okay. So my question
Reggae.
is, what is the
dance hall? Soca.
What is it that they need?
Hip-hop and
So I'm
R&B.
talking, and you're putting each of them on hold.
Right.
And then once
then
they're
I was
on
Disco.
hold,
I was supposed to get the conference.
Oldies but goodies.
okay, so now
this is
we can do
Janet
it 'cause we're on
Jackson.
commercial.
We're bridging the gap. Seriously. Splash Radio 94.3 New Jersey.
Know what I am doing? Downloading the Western Union app. I need to send money to my auntie in Nigeria. Know what I am doing now? Checking today's exchange rate to Nigeria on the Western Union app. Now, I'm sending my auntie money to help her with her groceries.
Download the Western Union app today. Use it to check today's exchange rate and send money to loved ones in Nigeria. Western Union, moving money for better.
Western Union makes money from currency exchange. Carefully compare fees and exchange rates, which may vary and are subject to change. NMLS number 906983.
Sing it, representing the color heritage. Represent the heritage. Marcus Garvey family.
No, if you do that, it's gonna hang up.
Color heritage family. Fashion with culture. Culture.
Eric Dawson first. Alright, hold the line for us. Alright, Eric Dawson first. Hold the line for us. We've been having some problems with it. Alright, I'm gonna put you in.
Check out colorheritage.com.
Anglo and Deanne, they know each other. I'm gonna have them call each other.
When you find good place for your food are foreign, you fit candid. And the people them will visit tropical flavors, Caribbean and American restaurant. Hey, shabababa, the food good, the food sweet. Them do catering and delivery for all occasion. Them located at 458 Clinton Street, East Orange, New Jersey. Them open from Monday to Saturday, 8:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. and on Sundays, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And the price is just right. Them daily menu include breakfast, hockey and saltfish, butter bean, callaloo, liver, kidney, cabbage and saltfish. Not to mention the soup, oh the red peas, the chicken foot, the fish tea, the goat head soup, shabababa, oh, them are the lunchtime special. Chicken curry, fire, barbecue, oxtail curry goat. And if you want to get catch, it's like a woman from St. Thomas cook this two beef, tropical flavors, Caribbean and American restaurant. Them are the food from out of the sea. I said it's swing around. We can brown stew it, we can steam it, we can escovage it, and we can curry it. Not to mention the curry shrimp, the brown stew shrimp. We open early, 8:30 to 10 p.m. You can call them at 862-253-4837. You can fax them at 862-253-4839. Tropical flavors, Caribbean and American restaurant, catering and delivering for all
So what I would say,
occasion.
we're running out of time. So pick the two people that we need to talk to, and then we'll have the third one call in.
Stand by, stand
We'll splash out the music on them. Splash, 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 splash them, splash them.
But I need you off the phone, Ian. The mic is getting ready to go hot.
Large abroad one, listen up. Shut up, yo, the best station on the planet.
So we're gonna take two. So who do you want to?
Hey, this is Eric Dawson. This is the Eric Dawson Radio Show. So what I would ask you to do, Ian, is pick the one that can call later, and then we'll take two of them now. So which two do you want?
I guess we'll do D and
Wait.
Angela.
Okay, so then let Keith know first. Click Keith and let him know that we're getting ready to take the two other ones, and then he can call back later.
Correct.
Right? That makes sense. Nope, you just talk. He's live.
Hey, Keith.
Hey.
Hey, stand fast. I'm going to get these two. That's the other two that's on as we're trying to resolve this.
All right.
And
So Keith, we're going to call you back. We're going to take the two ladies, and then we're going to ask you to call later. Okay? Thank you, brother.
Okay.
All right.
You can call me.
Yep. Now you just hung up on her again, Opie.
That's Keith.
No, was it Keith? Okay.
Yeah.
So let's get the two ladies in. We're going to try to. What do we need to do? Okay. Right.
Put her on hold.
Let's go.
Okay. Let me select.
Right.
No,
I thought that we had this together.
We had it together.
Okay.
There we go. Conference.
Okay. I think
All right,
now we have.
So we have Angela and Deanne on the lines together.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so if we can get apologize to everybody out there.
Okay. But let's go because we're going to have an 11 o'clock break in a second, and then we got to pay attention to the clock. And
all right, so we were talking to
cut
Angela.
the commercial break. We're just going to keep it going.
We're going to talk to Angela. And Deanne. We have the two ladies on the phone who were instrumental in Deanne.
That would be a question better answered by Deanne. Because Deanne brought me in to work on the signage and that portion of it.
And when did she bring you in?
Well, I brought Angela in a couple of years ago because, let's see, TNEC finally dedicated, TNEC purchased the land of the burial ground in the year 2006.
Okay.
And it took nearly, I don't know, we only got the sign a couple of years ago. I'm not sure what year.
2015. It was June, around June of 2015. And that was a couple years prior to that is when Deanne and I linked up. We met each other at a function, realized I was a history teacher, and then we went from there.
And so, Deanne, what is your profession?
Well, professionally, I'm a registered nurse, but I'm also qualified through certificate from New York University as an appraiser of fine art and antiques. So with that training, I was able to take the few scant pieces of information that I had initially discovered and recognize that this was something of importance. Another person might have skipped over.
I'm going to interrupt only because I think it's important that you note that historically speaking, the reason why Deanne was involved is because she lived blocks from the property and knew the social history of the area.
Okay.
And that became critical. That became critical in proving the cemetery existed in the first place, because at that point, which is where I got cut off, is where the maps had no longer been reflecting the cemetery, and there was somewhat of a hunt going to prove that the cemetery had ever even existed.
So, Deanne, this was so you initiated this entire thing.
Yes.
Okay. I just want the listeners to understand that, right? I want them to be clear on that. So, you based on your understanding of the area, having lived there, how long did you live in that area?
We moved here. I moved here with my family from Patterson in 1960. And this particular site had become, I remember seeing it for the first time in my life as a child, exploring my new neighborhood. I noticed that there was a structure there that looked like a hill when it should have been flat all around because it's floodplain on the Hackensack River. And I remember saying, what is that strange hill? And it just crossed my mind, and then I forgot about it until rediscovering this information through maps and deeds and tax records. I recollected the memory of seeing that hill and thinking, what is that structure, so long ago, back in 1960 when we first moved onto the street, Pomander Walk.
Okay, and so now that was my next question. Where is this cemetery located? What is the address so people want to drive by and see it?
Okay, the address on maps would be 662 Pomander Walk. 662 Pomander Walk in Teaneck.
Okay. And now and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the pictures that Ian has, and I'm just going to share this for you guys. I'm sharing it on my page so you can see what it is that we're talking about. So, what was strange about a hill?
Well,
and how does a hill? How do you correlate that to a cemetery of slaves?
Okay. The site is on the Hackensack River.
Mm-hmm.
And this particular location on the river, from Pomander Walk, actually going south to the border of Bogota, had been an Indian settlement site. So a portion near the Bogota border would have been where the Native Americans lived, but then it would turn out, as I came to understand the whole location, this particular area on Pomander Walk was the original ancient Native American burial ground. Now, the ancient Lenape lived along the rivers. This location is on the Hackensack River. They had their settlements on the river, and burials were streamside. There happens to be on the western border of this particular site actually a buried stream. You can't see it from the surface, but it's buried underground. It erupted in geysers during Hurricane Sandy, and it flows to the western border, and it empties into the Hackensack River there. The ancient Indians, their burials were in mounds. They created what's called a burial mound. So the hill, or the small hill, a hillock, in what otherwise should have been a floodplain, was actually a burial mound.
Got it.
See?
Wow.
I think that's extraordinary. And so this was from 2006 until now. So we're talking 11 years. And in this 11-year period, what has been done to make more folks aware of this cemetery?
Well, I'm proud that we did achieve getting the sign up, and it's.
I think that's an extraordinary feat. Absolutely.
And it says in big letters. It's a large sign. It says in big letters, "Slavery in Bergen County." One side of the sign is dedicated to telling the slave history of Bergen County, and the other side goes into the Native American history. There's two sides to the sign. But it was originally used for Native American burials. And then around the year 1664, the original colonists arrived in the New World. It was Albert Zabriskie who arrived at this particular location and began building his house, which is located nearby. It is one of the oldest stone houses in the state of New Jersey, and it is on the National Registrar of Historic Places.
Mm-hmm.
So Albert built the house, but most likely he would have used the labor of enslaved Africans to build the house. And when the colonists arrived, the local Native Americans were pushed out of the area through various decrees, and they went out to Oklahoma, I'm told. So the Native Americans abandoned this area, and then that particular cemetery was reused for the burials of enslaved Africans.
So again, I just want to let the listeners know who've just tuned in. We're talking about a discovered cemetery in Teaneck,
Teaneck, New Jersey, along the borderline of Hackensack.
Along the borderline of Hackensack.
A borderline of, well, this is in Teaneck, and it goes to the border of Bogota.
Okay.
Hackensack's on the other side of the river.
Got it. Okay. That is a burial site of
indigenous people and African and enslaved Africans.
Mm-hmm.
So,
wow. I mean, and this is amazing for a lot of us who lived in the Teaneck, New Jersey area, and surrounding areas, and just to discover the fact that something like this has existed the entire time. And a lot of my friends are online now going, "What? We didn't even know."
But here's the question, right? Because I want more people to know. And I, listening to you talk, I mean, you are providing the listeners and me with a history lesson. How do we get this out in a bigger kind of way is always where I try to get to. Are you in conversation with any of the black leadership, elected leadership in and around Bergen County, Essex County, in those areas?
Well, Deanne was given, she was awarded by the township, who recognized her for her work and what she did in discovering it.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying, does U.S. Senator Cory Booker know about this? Do all of these? Do they know about it?
I don't know about Cory Booker, but I do know that in Teaneck, currently, they have established a committee that is trying to develop a concept for a memorial.
No, I think that's her phone. Her phone.
Whose phone?
Your phone.
The volume just changed.
Yeah, your volume just changed on your phone.
I should make it louder?
Go right ahead. Just.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. In Teaneck right now, there is an effort underway to construct a memorial to slavery and install it on the municipal green. Whether they'll succeed in that effort, I don't know. It's just in the beginning phases.
I'm curious to know, speaking to Angela now, being that you were a teacher in Teaneck, since the discovery of this and being a history teacher, in fact, if since the discovery of this came to light, did they include this or incorporate this in the history lessons?
Okay, so here's where it goes. After that period, the house that Deanne was referring to as the Zabriskie Kip Katniss house, we were able to go in and Dr. Ladenheim, who actually owns the house, allowed us to film the structure. In the history books that have been promoted so far, there's no notation of enslaved Africans having been the ones to construct the actual home. But because of our ability to zoom into the way that the bricks were mortared together, that proved who built the actual structure. So that was an architectural history proof. We literally had historians in my living room watching this saying, "Oh, well, we didn't know this or that." So when it comes to written material, it's not. I also was on the curriculum writing team for 7th grade. So we did include it, and we put it on our
excellent
Teaneck site. So that's available to teachers, and it's in the curriculum guide. However, delivery of instruction and actual curriculum are two different things. There are many things in the curriculum that may or may not ever be seen in a classroom. That is another issue that I'm dealing with as far as I'm also, as I said, the Amistad Scholar and Designee for Teaneck. So I try to make sure that at least the materials are available but it's outside of my scope to administer that other teachers cover and how they cover and how they deliver material. So it's there. We've also, since then, as Deanne pointed out, there's a structure plan to be erected on the municipal green. They have asked for information concerning the burial ground to include in that as well, but on a massive scale. And of course, you know, in local history, we cover this. I cover it in my classroom and so on. But we have talked about having some kind of a more public, educational experience for people to really get it, because as Deanne mentioned it and everybody's like, oh really? Whenever I mention it to anyone, they're really surprised because, and I say it because up to this point, even the way that they themselves have been taught history, and it's been bad guys versus good guys, and history taught in isolation. And when you have like the Industrial Revolution going on at the same time as the influx of European immigrants, and the same time as the Civil War, those are taught one and then the next and the next when that was happening at the same time, and maybe you would have a better understanding of how those three economic features played into one another, and political power paradigms.
Of course, the political aspect. I'm curious. In discovering the burial grounds itself and all that, did we discover any names of some of the persons buried there?
This is what I was saying earlier, but when I got cut off, the Arnold Brown was able to trace back to, and it is a matter of public record. After the first emancipation in 1804. When it became illegal to import any enslaved persons from Africa, they had to do a census and tally of all of the enslaved people who, resided or were owned by them. And in that, in those census records, which was held by the county, Arnold Brown was able to locate names and dates of birth and so on to actually place. Some of the names are actually placed on the burial ground sign, along with a little poem that I included and was included. But we didn't want any other, that was part of Deanne and my fight, to not have any other names on the sign, because it was a burial ground and we felt only the people who were buried there should be honored. And then there was, again, there's always the paradigm in history. We had to, concede that the political leaders at the time who wanted to be acknowledged, but you'll see a little ground, a footstone with their names on it, so everyone was happy, and we got the sign.
Got it. Well, thank you, ladies, for the fight for inclusion, the fight for real information. Is this area now, this that we have, are people able to walk by and discover this? Is it now a walkway, or are the kids in school able to, during their history lessons, are they able to take a walk and see what the teacher's talking about? Is this going on now?
Yeah, well, it's
taking trips is a little more. I have to go back to class in like 3 minutes, so I'm just going to say this last little thing, and then I have to, hang up and let Deanne do it, because thanks to Deanne, honestly, it's a beautiful place to sit and just relax. I mean, it's open. Anyone can go there and really just enjoy it. When it comes to school trips, it's a whole process, particularly in TNEC. We have a very stringent process. We can't just, let's go take a walk with our class. That's just not how it's done.
It's like when we were kids, right? You got to get permission slips. You got to do all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And there's certain, but that's something we've talked about, but it hasn't come into fruition. What I do is I give the, address and say it's over there when you're out, because I encourage out of the classroom learning also. You're in town, take a walk, look at what's there, so, but again, I want to thank you for highlighting this, and I want to thank you all for your time. And Deanne, I will speak to you later, but I have to go to class.
All right, go teach those babies. Deanne, can we keep you on for a few more minutes?
Yes.
All right.
I'm here.
Excellent.
Thank you.
So Deanne, so here's the question I want to ask you. In terms of being able to let other folks know, so what she said was that she tells her class that it's over there and they can go and see it. Has information gone out to parents about it?
Well, I am not in the teaching system. I'm not a teacher. I live on Pomander Walk, so I'm not sure about that.
Right. So, but I guess what I'm trying to get at is there any public relations effort being undertaken to get the information about it? Because I can call you, right? I'll call Ian, and I can call you, and I can find out more. But how would somebody who just tuned into the show, if they wanted to learn more about this, this history of this area and of the cemetery, how would they get that information? Is it? Have you guys written it down anywhere yet? Is there like a pamphlet?
They said it's a matter of public record now, isn't it?
No, I'm sure not the history lesson that she's given us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm saying, is there a website that's being developed? Is there, some sort of literature that's being developed so that people can get their hands on it?
That's a good idea. We haven't done that.
Okay, well, I'd like to work with you on doing that.
Okay. That would be just wonderful. It would really be wonderful. I could say a few people have called me on the phone and about the cemetery over the past few years. What they did was they went to the township of Teaneck. They said they heard about it. They asked how they could find out more information, and then the township put them in contact directly with me, and I provided a personal tour of the site for them. That's the way it's worked so far.
Okay.
Right. But the town should definitely make that a historical site and do more to it. Now, I just want to repeat the address again for the listeners of the actual location of the site, please.
It is 662 Pomander Walk.
In Teaneck. Beautiful. Okay.
Beautiful. Thank you. I appreciate
and it's just an incredibly beautiful place. That is what is most amazing.
I've already got a bunch of possible, ideas to, to help market it and, get the word out. One of the things that comes to mind is I just created a partnership with a guy who does, he works with real estate agencies to photograph and video the houses and such, and he's got a drone for like the huge properties in Bergen County, and he's got a permit to be able to fly his drone to do these overhead aerial videos of these large properties. And I'm thinking that maybe putting together some sort of a virtual tour, where, like right now, you said you're walking people through it, but for folks who, can't get here, if there was some sort of a virtual tour where that drone just kind of went, and then you could narrate the different, areas in history lesson about it, and then that thing could exist somewhere on a website, so that people could see it, and then maybe they want to come and visit it, because and no matter what you do in a video, it's always much better to come in and see it firsthand.
Right.
So those kinds of things could could be a way to attract folks too.
Eric
so.
does come up with a good idea every once in a while. He really does. Every now and again. I don't know. Maybe that's how he got his name on the show. But Deanne and I only just linked up yesterday evening.
You didn't know Deanne before yesterday?
I didn't know Deanne nor Angela until. Actually, Angela and I only
so
just
you saw the plaque
and then went crazy,
and then you posted it, and then that's how you met.
And then went crazy, crazy on a search and destroy mission, and 6 degrees of separation. I reached out. One of my friends from high school, shout out once again, Dr. Marion McClary, who introduced me to Deanne.
Okay.
And so she and I are not only Facebook friends for like one day, we are going to be friends for life moving forward.
All right, excellent. So we're going to get this thing.
Thank you.
We're going to get this thing going. So Deanne, thank you so much. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
So
wow.
I mean, that.
Wow.
Look, man.
Wow.
Because
wait. I got to say this one more time. Wow. Okay, now go ahead.
Well, I think that there are African American political leaders who need to be made aware of it in a big way. I think that faith-based leaders, right, need to be made aware of it, and then there needs to be a discussion about how to implement the lesson about it into the curriculum, so that these children, in these surrounding areas will know it's there, that their parents can take them there, and then maybe even the schools have a bus ride. I don't know what more there is to do. So if they get out, how big is the cemetery? You would
size and specifications. It's big enough. I mean, you got to consider.
I'm saying it was used. I guess what I'm trying to get.
It was used and reused. You have to understand. This same cemetery was used for indigenous people, and it was reused.
Right.
For enslaved Africans, which is amazing. That's a pretty big lot size.
Okay, because what I'm trying to get at is if you did a class trip,
right?
The kids walking for 5 minutes and then it's done, or can much like you go to a museum and you have the person who, I forgot what they call them, but the person who walks you through the museum and explains the artwork and such. So you would have somebody like Deanne who would be that guide, who would explain exactly what the kids are looking at. But all of these ideas are bouncing in my head. Wow,
right.
You're right. Wow,
it's wow. It's wow when
it is a wow.
It's wow for a lot of us, and thank you again, Deanne, and thank you, Marion, for introducing me to Deanne. And thank you to Angela who took her break time in school, and for all the teachers out there, you guys know when y'all get that one free period, y'all need that period to woosah, right? Angela decided to use that period to share with us and add to the discussion, and we appreciate her just the same.
So we have a guest in studio.
We have a guest in studio.
Right. So
we're gonna change topics for a second, and then we're gonna come back because I have to call Keith Jackson back, who has a great story. Now, he's a friend of mine from high school. He has an outstanding story to contribute in relation to the enslavement. He has a lot to contribute in regards to what we're talking about with the cemetery, the enslavement that went on in the northern regions of the United States that a lot of people aren't aware of, and his own family tree history goes back. He was able to trace his family tree back to Thomas Jefferson's property. So it's very interesting. It's going to be very interesting. And again, I'm thankful to my friends from Teaneck High School and others who helped me in my...
Let's get to the guest.
Right. I just want to... I'm thankful. I'm still in awe and surprised about this whole situation.
I get it, but
this is more potent, powerful than a confefe, whatever how you probably pronounce that. I mean, okay, but in studio, everybody, we have a person who is directionally challenged, but she got lost coming here. But
that's not really true.
Okay.
They blocked the street off. What am I supposed to do?
Oh, that okay. Well, we have in our studio a young lady who's running for freeholder position.
And move your mic a little closer
and
to
I'm
her.
And I'm going to move my mic a little closer to her
so that we can share mics.
Share mics.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and she goes by the name of Deborah Salter.
And you're running for what?
Essex County Freeholder at Large. Yes.
Okay.
So,
in what district?
Well, at large is.
Oh, at large. I'm sorry.
Yes.
You did say at large.
Excuse Eric. He doesn't understand at large.
No, I understand at large. Okay. So, all right.
So, first introduce yourself to the audience, and then I'm sure if everybody would have raised their hands, what percentage of us know or don't know what a freeholder is or does.
Exactly.
That'd be a very interesting conversation, and that kind of ties into what Eric and I have been talking about for a long time, is the fact that a lot of our plight in our, in our position in this world and in our lack of political strength is directly related to our lack of political knowledge.
Absolutely.
And so, please,
educate,
introduce, and choose a mic. Use them both. Go for it.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Deborah Salters.
Hi, Deborah.
That's Debra Salters. I am a lifelong resident, born and bred in Newark, New Jersey. And I get my sense of community from my mother, Hattie Walker. She was actually one of the first blacks to own her own home in the South Ward. Last matriarch standing. So, my love for the people. Yes,
where in the South Ward?
This, right, Clinton Avenue, Clinton and Milford, right there, the brownstone that's standing there now. And like parallel to the Blue Mirror. If you stand there, you can look directly across the street. I love Newark, and it's involuntary. I go to sleep with it on my mind. I wake up with it on my mind. I love the people of this county. Let me say that I've gone to Newark Public Schools, had the best teachers.
Where'd you go?
I went to Miller Street. I went to Belmont Runyon. I went to Louise A. Spencer. Graduated from Malcolm X Shabazz and had the most awesome teachers, Princess Tao, Doris McNeil. I mean, all of these guys, they taught us, I would say the things that are being taught in the charter schools, but we had a very great foundation in our public school system.
Where did you come out of Malcolm X Shabazz?
Oh, 1983.
Oh, okay.
I'm dating myself. Okay, for all of those of you who are listening who did not know how old I was, it's okay now.
Yeah, but and he slid that in real quick.
And I could have avoided it, but
why? Because when you're talking historically about what you learned and what the culture was, right? Then we have to know what time that
absolutely. It was a very different time. Our teachers were our parents. We spent most of the days with them. It was no such thing as your parents going to come to the school and reprimand the teacher. They want to go to the teacher and they'll reprimand you. It happened to me a couple times. I wasn't even wrong and got slapped up in school, and then later on it was like, oh well, you'll be all right.
And what was really cool about that time too?
Take the slap as a down payment.
Exactly. I wasn't going to say it, but I get you for something I didn't get you for before. It's all right.
I didn't get you for it.
Yeah, that's what that was.
But you had teachers who lived in the community.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
I remember going to the store and seeing my teacher.
Absolutely.
Standing in line buying groceries,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes.
And they got to chat with my parents in a informal setting about
Absolutely.
me and what I was doing and not doing.
Absolutely.
And I think that lent itself to the kind of community that we had grown up.
It really did, and I'm telling you, the times were it was a beautiful time, and I say that because to look at the city, and honestly, some days I'm just out amongst the community. I'm just out there. I have to be out there. I feel like that my presence makes a difference. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
And I'm digging the hair.
So why do you?
Why am I here at this point? Here's the thing, and I'm running as a write-in candidate, and I tell you why. Because, and I actually ran for councilwoman at large when Raz and those guys were running for mayor. My people went missing, my petitions went missing. It was nasty. Like, that was like no one had ever in the history of running for that city.
Listen, because I worked for Shavar Jeffries' campaign during that time.
I wish you didn't go there.
No, I'm not going to go far down that line. But
I didn't know.
But no, I worked for his campaign, and we talked about how nasty it was.
That was ugly.
And how it set a tone for a lot of what exists right now in Newark. I mean, it was bad.
Yeah, it was bad. And so I wasn't running to actually win. I was fussing at the council all the time, giving them lessons about how they can come together to run our community. And I got tired of talking. So I said, I'm going to show you guys, because I let them know who I was. I'm an avid activist in the community. At the time, I had more time, so I was working with a friend of mine that's a retired school teacher from D.C. We were going into the public schools, giving away coats and toys and eyeglasses, all kind of things. Just going. I would go in and speak with the children at Brick Academy, and then was invited back by Peshon Avenue, just at any time if I wanted to come and speak with the students. I don't have children in the public school system, but these are my children, because if we don't teach them, they're going to be knocking someone else over the head, and I don't want them, because I don't want them knocking your mother or my mother over the head, trying to, and at the time we were growing up, we had different programs. We had after school, we had the rec centers, we had everything, and now all of that has been taken away. So anyway, I digress, but what I'm saying is I'm here now as a write-in candidate because I thought about it, and right now I'm finishing my bachelor's in geological science at Rutgers. So at the time of the campaigning and all of that, I really didn't have time for it. So I said, well, I guess the time has passed, but it was still nagging at me. So I opened up the sample ballot, which is something I never usually do. And literally, as I looked at the ballot, the words write-in was in 3D. It was just smacking me in my face, and I just put it down like, no. Write-in? No. And it just kept nagging at me. So what I'm saying is I feel led to do this because I don't like what I see. And let me explain. I graduated from Essex County College in 2015 with my associates in bio-pre-med. And at the time, I'm in school, and I'm looking at the different issues and things that are happening there. I was not pleased with it. So a group of us went to the county exec because Joe D, he had remained flat in the giving that he gave for the past 5 years at the time. So we wanted more money. We need more money for our school to, do well. And so at the time they lied to us and told us that the then president, Dr. Gibson, was stealing the money and all of this. So we are in an uproar now. We go back to the college. We're opening requests for everything, but down to the penny. What are you spending money on? And all of this. So long story short, I graduate. Find out that we were lied to. I then become the student representative on the Board of Trustees of Essex County College from 2015 to 2016. In this time, the Board of Trustees received a new president that was sent over by Joe D.
Right.
And so it was a battle. Instead of them supporting me and helping me to get things for the students, they tried to tear me down. They dug into my records to try and find stuff to discredit me. Because now that you've lied to me, I'm asking you the tough questions. Okay. So it started there for me. As far as becoming serious about actually changing, getting into the house and changing things. So what happened was, that progressed. I met with Joe D. I met with Phil Elijah. I spoke with all of these guys. They all fed me a line of garbage and basically tried to shoo me off. So, and I'm saying, so I go to the freeholders. The freeholders actually control the purse strings for our county.
Right. So the freeholders are like the council for municipalities.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. And they don't realize, and the thing that blew my mind was that in speaking with them, they did not know their job description. They don't know. And I said, you don't understand the power that you hold? No. Because they do only what the county exec tells them to do. And that's literally what they do. Even the position for the committee woman, you know, which would be the number, his number 2, because the committeeman is Phil Elijah. You know, even their job, you know, as far as they're supposed to be the go-to or the liaison between the county level and the state level. So we all look at the big elections, but don't realize that this small election right here that everyone ignores actually controls the bigger elections.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, this election right here on June 6th, this primary, actually will determine if you want change or not. Because the change would be, look at Essex County College right now, that was made for our community, for our brown people to succeed. Now, for many people, that's the last stop that they have to make a change. Many people who are incarcerated came through there or come through there. Many people who don't have the money to go to another institution. Essex County College has changed many lives. So tell me why Essex County College is at a $9.5 million deficit when our county exec is spending millions of dollars on a zoo for giraffes and turtles and all of these things. Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. You know, when we the people of the city and the county cannot get what we need to live an efficient and abundant life. When you look at the contracts, I've gone to the freeholders meetings. Okay, they're in charge of our infrastructure, our roads, the tree cuttings, and all of these things, right? So you go to those meetings and you look at who is getting those contracts. It's not us. It's not the people that live in this area. It's not the people that are here who are paying their tax dollars here. No, it's all those who are outside of our community. No brown people. And when you're there and you're looking at people, the questions that they're asking, I've seen the posture. Oh, well, so just tell me this. And I believe this question was asked just for them to look important. So tell me, do you have any Newark residents on your payroll? And they stand there and look at them and go, no. Without explanation, without concern, and they still get the $250,000, $500,000 contracts. No Newark residents, no brown people, but yet you're giving them the money. And I'm going to tell you what I know for sure. The county exec hires companies that are his friends, the lawyers that get hired, the auditing firms that get hired, these tree firms that get hired, the different paper companies. And I know what I know because I have the research. I did the research. And I'm telling you, it's time out for these people to stop hiring their own friends and family, and the rest of us have to travel hundreds of miles to get a job when we're more than qualified in our own city, where our tax dollars are being spent.
I know a whole lot of people going way out Kingsburg and other areas to work.
As an individual who's going to be running as a write-in for freeholder, understanding the issues and challenges that face you, if you were to win, what change do you believe you would be able to enact?
Okay, this is what I tell people. In a world where you have a bunch of yes people, I tell this to people who want to be my friends. I'm the no person in your life. I'm not going to let you do what you want to do. That's not the definition of love or concern or care. The definition of love and concern is that I'm not going to let you do something that's detrimental to you or anyone near you. So I'm going to, which is what I do. They know me. I tell them the truth. The mayor will tell you. The council will tell you.
So your goal is to use it as a platform.
Platform for change. Because here's the thing. These people run unopposed.
But we understand that you're using it as a platform for change. You'll be able to now talk about the different things that are going on, but it will still be incumbent upon the electorate to put pressure on the elected officials to bring about the change that you're talking about.
So, and this is the thing. So I'm here as a voice for those who don't have a voice, for those who do have a voice but are afraid to speak. Because I've had people tell me, oh girl, leave it alone, just, oh, stop talking to them, oh, be careful, their power reaches far, they can do this or that. Listen, They're doing nothing to me. They can do no more to me than God allows them to do. I'm not a martyr. I'm not a politician. But I am a concerned citizen who is tired of the same old over and over again. Because quite frankly, the definition of insanity is what? Doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. Right? So for those who vote for the same people, who do the same things, they're contributing to the insanity. For those of us who don't vote, we're contributing to the insanity. Because we're not doing anything to make a difference. And a lot of people feel hopeless. They don't know what to do. So they're looking for someone, as myself, to stand up and say, okay, listen, get with me. Let us use our power to oppose the opposition. To make them, to force them. Because, see, people don't realize the power that they hold. Okay, the freeholders work for us, the constituents of the city, of the county.
Of course they do.
And so we have to hold them accountable, but most people are afraid to stand up because of the county exec who they have made God. This man is not God.
So you have two sets of people. You have the employees,
yes,
who are intimidated because they fear lack of employment if they don't capitulate.
Right, absolutely.
And then you have a group of residents who are uninformed.
Right.
So they're not necessarily intimidated. They just don't know any better.
They just don't know.
The question that I have for you is, because you're not going to really be able to impact the ones who will be making decisions that are best for their households, right? And that's that they need to keep a job so they can pay their rent or their mortgage or those kinds of things.
Right.
How do you, and this is the, the $64,000 question that nobody's been able to really answer.
Okay.
How do you engage the electorate in a way that they come out organized and mobilized to vote in their best interest? How do you do that?
Well, here's the thing. I've been on and this literally happened within a week's time when the whole thing happened with the ballot and the write-in, and I fought it. I'm like, well, really? No, we don't have no. And someone told me, no, this is happening.
Did you speak to Larry Hamm as well?
I don't know if you want me to go there with him right now, but we'll deal with that. No, and I understand it. We'll talk about that in a second.
We got 20 minutes.
Okay, we'll get back to him, but let me answer your question. As far as mobilizing the electorate, grassroots, and what I've done is I've reached out to those, and I've met those who feel as I do, that have a reach in the community, like different places I'm not. West Orange, Irvington, so this is the way we're doing this. We're doing the social media blast to inform people, like, and I've spoken to people on the street, and they're like, well, what is that? I don't vote in this. People who have jobs and are well known, even in the city, they're like, oh, I don't vote in that election. So I had to then inform them
on why they should.
Because again, this election really controls your day to day. It's not the presidential. It's not that, because even when I mentioned the committee people, the committee men, committee women, they're liaisons between the county or city, county. Then you go to the state level, and then the legislative, the national level. So this right here, if you want to make a change, this is where you need to do it. And so this is what I've been doing. I've been informing the community through others who reach people that I will never see, or who I don't have enough time to go and see before June 6th. So with this radio broadcast right now, I'm asking the people to take this opportunity to spread the word to their friends and their family. Spread the word and let them know that they need to vote in this election, this freeholder election, this committee men, committee women election. Don't just pick anybody. And I'm doing this also because I want you to study, research. Look up what a freeholder does. We don't have enough time. I can go into all of it. I'll give you the short of it, which is, I told you, they hold the purse strings for the county. Your roads, your infrastructures. If you want some changes made, even like I'm talking about Essex County College, they control the board of, what am I saying? The board... the board at the college and board of trustees.
Okay.
The county freeholders are the bosses of the board of trustees, but they allowed these people even to run amok to the point where Essex County College could lose its accreditation. They're in jeopardy of losing their accreditation. They failed 3 of the 5 standards, and I'm talking about this because I want you to understand this community college is our college. People, you have the power to make these folk do what they're supposed to do.
Now, Freeholder runs every how many years?
3.
They serve
3-year term.
They serve a 3-year.
3-year term. Yeah.
So here's.
But there are several seats in rotation every.
Right. They're exactly. They're staggered. Okay.
Right,
and the committee.
So how often is an election for Freeholder?
Well, like we just said, it's staggered, so it's every 3 years. And then you have the committeeman, committeewoman. That's 4 years, a 4-year term.
An election every other year.
Every other year.
Every other year, every 3 years.
Well, it goes. Actually, I believe when I did the research, I'm looking at the people. They've been in there so long, it's hard to tell where their term starts.
See, so
and
for
ends,
instance, the Board of Education, right? There's staggered terms,
right?
3 that run,
right?
But there's an election every year, and 3 are up.
Yeah, it's not every year. It's every 2 years.
Every 2 years.
Every 2.
So you know.
But all right, and in regards to this conversation, just to catch everybody up and all that, you know, we all try to do our part, and as far as community wise, and we have somebody here who has seen a problem, and much like what everybody should be at this point, is sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yes.
Right. So instead of just complaining about the situation at hand, she says, "I'm going to get up and get out and do something." Now, speaking on that part, you know, because we're all running in our daily lives. She and I only ran into each other yesterday.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And I was introduced to her by a mutual friend of ours, Anthony Avent. Shout out to him.
Yes.
And he was like, "Bro, I need you to get with this lady. I need you to get with her, because y'all two really need to get together. She's about trying to do good and build up the community. This sister right here, and I know this brother very well. So you know." He vouched for her, and that was good enough for me. And then she and I engaged into a conversation. I was like, "I got to get you on." So that's how this came about. And Eric got a text late last night from me, probably, and maybe early this morning. I'm not sure what it was, letting him know that, hey, she's going to come in studio today. We need to have it. So
here's the question I want to ask you.
Yes.
What kind of support are you getting in the community from? And when let me try to phrase the question properly, right?
Okay.
So you have a lot of people in the community who say, like Ian said, they're sick and tired.
Right.
They're sick and tired of the establishment,
Right.
right?
Tired of being sick
So
and tired.
all of those people who have said that, they should be running to jump on your campaign to help you.
This is what I'm saying, and I agree with that.
And what's happening in that respect?
Well, I'm receiving a lot of feedback. Amazingly enough, like I'm a little shocked from a couple of people that I received support from. Now, because you know the political machine is strong in Newark and Jersey itself. So there are people telling me, you know, "Sis, I got you. I'm behind you. Listen, I don't have any sponsors because it happened real fast. And I'm not looking for anyone to necessarily sponsor me. I'm looking for the constituents who hold the power. Don't you know that a lot of times in these freeholders elections, with the 3 million people that are here, they win by like 500, 700.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because no one knows, no one goes. So I want, to answer your question, there are people that are giving me feedback. There are people that are willing to help me. But this is what I need. I need for you all out there, all of you who are listening, all of you who are watching, please get up, engage. And I'm going to take this from what Obama said in his last speech before he left. He said, if you're not happy with what you see, get up. Get a clipboard, get some petition signed, and make a change.
He said, "What? Don't boo, vote."
Exactly. Don't boo, vote. And I'm telling you, on June 6th, I will be working the polls in Orange, so I'll have to run to my polls to vote for myself. But I'm asking those of you who are in Essex County, all of you cities, please get up, get out. Let's make a change. Let's take our community back. Let's take our county back. Because right now,
they're asking for your name again and talk about what you're running. See, we got it. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
My name is.
My name is Deborah, Debra, Salters, Salters.
And I'm asking for your.
And I'm asking for your vote. The write-in. Go into the booth, push the button that says write-in, and type those letters in. Debra. DebraSalters, and that's for the Essex County freeholder at large, also for the state committee woman. In fact, I would challenge you to fill in any spot you could with my name, because it's time to upset the apple cart. It's time to upset the norm. Okay? These people need to know that you are tired. And the way that you show them that you are tired is that you are willing to fire them and hire someone else to do the job. You hold the power.
And let me just say this, everybody. I mean, and it's not just to pat myself on the back. I mean, when you see something, it shouldn't, and you see something is wrong, or you see something that's right, in this case, sitting to the right of me, it shouldn't take you long to mobilize, galvanize, and do something. Okay? She and I only just met through a mutual friend, and she's yesterday, and she's here today. Because I know she needs to get her voice out there, and y'all need to know who she is. But not only that, just as well as I was able to do that, you out here are also able to do that. You are also able to reach out to somebody else. I wanted to reach somebody else, and maybe also, if you're available to assist her at different polling sites or whatever, reach out to us through the radio station here. Yes. Hit me through the DM, direct message on Facebook, whatever, and I will put you in contact with the sister because she needs your help in order to be successful. This is if you want a person to represent you in that seat and help keep certain monies in house per se as it should be, whereas the jobs are kept in house, etc., so on. And if the jobs and the money's kept in house, guess what? Right. The people in the house get hired.
That's right.
Okay? So if you want things like that to happen, then you got to get up off your behind.
Yeah.
And you got to do something.
Yeah.
It didn't take long for us to make this thing happen here. I need your help. She needs your help to make it happen, to get to the finish line. And that's really the bottom line. All that other stuff, everything else that talks up, this is talk radio, but we don't just talk. We do.
And listen, and I want you to understand, if you ask anyone about me that knows me, I mean, to the point where my daughter was just so upset with me. She's like, Ma, every time I'm doing something, I'm out here, she's like, are they paying you? Are they paying you? Who's taking care of you? And she literally said to me about a week ago, you out there saving people to your own detriment, Ma. Like, and that's the thing. And I want you to understand, I go to sleep with people on my mind. I wake up wondering what I can do. I'm praying and looking, what can I do to make somebody's life better the next day when I'm out here? I'm telling you, I'm out here selflessly, tirelessly, and I'm not promising you something that I will do. I'm telling you what I'm already doing. If you go to City Hall and you ask them my name, or you go to Essex County, or you could ask the county freeholders and them there. You ask them my name. They can tell you. Listen, I'm not playing games. I don't play games. I'm serious. People are my passion. I can't run away from it. It's involuntary. It's here. And so I must do something about it. And I'm asking you to do the same.
So, what I would hope is that folks respond. And if they wanted to get in touch with you and wanted to be helpful, how could they reach you?
Okay, well, my email is Salters, SALTERS .Debra, DEBRA @gmail.com. You can reach me there. I'm not going to give my phone number out.
No, that's okay. But we're going to do that first.
Yes, if you reach me there, send me an email, and I welcome your comments. I welcome any advice or anything you can offer. But we need to get this done. June 6th is around the corner. It's a couple days away. Tuesday.
And understand, folks, anybody living in Essex County, New Jersey is eligible to vote for this position.
Yes.
Okay? Anybody living in Essex County, New Jersey is able to vote for her for this position. I typed on the feed. I typed her name, the correct spelling, first and last. I typed the email address on the feed as well. Please take this information. Please share this video. Please share it. If you haven't shared it already, please share it.
Yeah, do that.
Share this video. And tell other people to listen in, because today's program was very educational and informative to include the sister that's sitting here between us today.
Yes.
And look, we can control our government starting with our local levels.
Absolutely. We have to.
The local elections are the easiest ones for us to gain control at. And all we have to do is get up, get out, and vote. That's all we have to do. That's the simplest thing we have to do.
And our people died for this. That's the thing that gets me.
And if you get her in, she's going to do the work. All you got to do is let her in. Get her in the door.
What are the number of votes
gonna do
that
the
you
work.
believe that you need to win?
Well, once this word gets out to the county executive
No.
people-
What has been the average
Listen.
winning voter numbers up to this point? Like how many people?
It's been under 1,000.
It's been under 1,000. We just need. We need all of you.
All of you.
Listen, I don't want to give no number.
Millions.
I need all of you. I want her to win this election by at least 10,000 votes.
Yes.
I need all of you to get out here because that's gonna put our government on notice.
Yes.
Our local government on notice that the people are awakening.
Yes.
Okay? So rise up, you mighty nation.
Rise up.
Okay? It's about that time because
Rise
all
up.
that stuff is just talk. And I want, if anybody's listening and you're going to go to your mosque and you're going to go to your churches,
yes,
share this information with the person at the head of the pulpit,
yes,
so they can disseminate this information to the rest of the congregation. Please do that. This has to happen.
Has to.
This has to happen.
If we don't
Stop
do
playing.
it now, stop complaining. Do it.
Stop
we have
playing
to
games,
do it.
people.
We
Stop
have
playing
to.
games. Stop playing games.
Well, I wish you well
in
the upcoming election. What I would hope is that beyond that, win or lose,
right,
that you become a resource,
yes,
and maybe mutual relationship between you and the show,
yes,
of sharing information, right?
Absolutely.
She's a doer.
Need to, get information, and we're working on we're trying to build on all levels, right?
Absolutely.
So we're trying to build a network on the local municipal levels within the Board of Education,
Yes,
within
all of
city
that.
halls,
Yes.
right? And now, to be able to say we have somebody who is focused on what's going on, with the Board of Chosen Freeholders, I mean, that's essential. And to be able to, my hope would be to invite you to become a part of, the Splash Radio family and the Eric Dawson Radio Show family, to be able to get information out to people in the community. Because,
Absolutely.
look, I say these things are marathons, right? Win or lose this election.
Right. And this is just the primary, so November's here too.
And November's
So
here too.
We can make it happen.
Yeah, and then beyond November, it still
Absolutely.
is just about educating,
Every
right?
day.
Because even
That's
if
right.
you got on, we need more people
Absolutely.
on. So it's not a sprint; it's a marathon.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So, Deborah.
Yes.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate
and,
you.
And
Thank you. I appreciate you so
call
much.
in on Tuesday.
I will.
Right, and let us know how it's going out there.
I will.
And then we'll just continue to remind people what's going on.
Absolutely.
All right.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right, y'all. Y'all done heard it. And this is Friday. This is Wrap Up Fridays, right? But we needed to wrap up a lot of stuff, right? And that's right, Eric. Edward B. Johnson said, all politics is local. And that's right.
Mm-hmm.
All politics is local because whatever you're voting for, regardless of what position you're voting for, is going to affect you locally.
Absolutely.
All right, to include the presidency. Okay, so let's not be fooled by anything else. We have Deborah Salters, Debra, last name SALT, like salt, ERS.
Yes.
And her email address is salters.debra@gmail.com.
Yes.
Get out here. All you got to do is your part.
That's it.
The one day, only thing we're asking you to do is for that one day, get up, go to the voting booth, press write in,
Yes.
and type her name in. That's all we're asking you to do. She'll do the rest of the work from there. We just need you to get her in the door so she can get in the door and do the work. That's all we're saying.
Yeah.
We're not asking you to, to show up 10 days a week. We're just asking you to get up that one day and make that happen. And we understand you might be tired and weary yourself, but let somebody else walk the rest of the mile for you.
Yes.
All right, get them on the starting line so they can get and rent. She can't win the race unless she's in it. All right, so she's there. We need y'all to make this happen. Now we're about to shut down. I'm sorry. I went into preacher mode.
Yeah.
No, that's all right, man.
I went into preacher mode, man. But you know
you
what?
see,
and I want y'all to understand something. I come here voluntarily, and Eric and I met up
be on the same front, because we have a mission to want to bring information out here to the people. And as you hear, sometimes Eric and I'll debate, but at the end of the day, our mission is still the same: is to empower our people with information. Right? That's basically our thing. We want to empower our people with information. And so that's why we're here. That's why we continually debate. That's why we continually show up.
Well,
I mean, because neither one of us are.
We're gonna have to end this.
Yeah, we're gonna have to end it. But that's why we show up, right?
But we literally have to end it.
We literally have to end it.
This is Eric.
And this is Ian.
And this is Deborah.
And Deborah Salters. Make sure you write her in.
We're out.
It's Friday.
This has been the Eric Dawson Radio Show.
It's not just about Eric's opinion. It's about understanding what's really going on.
Tune in Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock a.m.
Just continuing to talk about what elected leadership is doing without talking about the people who elected the elected leadership and what they're not doing to hold them accountable and or replace them. I think that I'd be doing you a disservice.
Right here on 94.3 FM. Splash Radio.
Yes, y'all. And you don't stop.
Splash them up, wet them up, close, tam.
So we need to organize. We need to get another organization, much like we did before with the Black Panther Party. And there he goes, touching buttons again, and he don't know. Okay.
Whatever he wanted.
I mean, I like to go back on air. Shoot, you didn't tell me nothing.
Every girl roll up on the song, yeah. Every girl drop a boom on the song, yeah. Boom up the place on the song, yeah. Twista girl, set up the boom already. Set up the boom already. Set up the boom already. Twista girl, then. Oh, let me say it up.
I'm really sick and tired of being. Look,
you said Edward Johnson?
Yeah.